I picked From Beyond for this remix challenge because 30 years of Planety is really important to have those first steps of what I made musically. To do a remix challenge with this gives people the feel of the early stages of what Planety comes from. And that's what From Beyond is really the roots of Planety. When I originally made that track was the first time that I set foot in Europe back in 1989. I went over to perform with Derek May as Rhythm is Rhythm. We linked up with RNS Records in Belgium to this SSL studio that was in the middle of nowhere. It was like in this village in somewhere close to Ghent, Belgium. I did From Beyond, Crackdown, and those were done right on the spot. I think I had a day or 2 days and I did those tracks. That was really my first experience to making tracks under pressure, making music under pressure, making music under a deadline. Now, I hate working under a deadline now, but I really flourished then because I had something to prove. You know, I was 20 years old and I was in the middle of a country that I had no idea anything about it, and this is what came out. The instruments that I used on music at the time were an Alesis MM-T8 sequencer and an Alesis HR16 drum machine. The things that could be done with that drum machine was incredible. You could hear it all over the first D'Angelo record. What was important in this studio, not only that they had this SSL room, was that they had an 808 that was MIDI'd. Every type of sequence that I did on that HR16 was triggering 808. And I think this could be one of the first or the earliest tracks in 808 was actually swung, because I used a lot of swing on the HR16. Before 1989, I had never heard an 808 in swing time. It just never happened. With From Beyond, 808 swung all through it. That was the first time I had ever touched Emulator 3. You know, it's an American 16-bit sampler. Everything you put into that thing, it made it sound better. So I used some things that I sampled in Crackdown and then From Beyond that were specifically through that amazing, amazing sampler.